I mean, we were second in recruiting last year. A&M was first. A&M bought every player on their team, made a deal for name, image, and likeness. All right, we didn't buy one player. All right, but I don't know if we're going to be able to sustain that in the future because more and more people are doing it.
It's despicable that a reputable head coach could come out and say this when he doesn't get his way or things don't go his way. The narcissist in him doesn't allow those things to happen. And it's ridiculous. But when he's not on top, and the parity in college football he's been talking about, go talk to coaches who coach for him. You'll find out all the parity. Go dig into wherever he's been. You can find out anything. Some people think they're God. Go dig into how God did his deal. You may find out about a guy that a lot of things you don't want to know. We built him up to be the czar of football. Go dig into his past. Yes, my dad always told me this. When people show you who they are, believe them. He's showing you who he is. You can call me anything you want to call me. You ain't calling me a cheat. I don't cheat and I don't lie. So I learned that when I was a kid. If you did, the old man slapped you side of the head. Maybe somebody should have slapped him.
It just gets better the more
Nobody
I see
called
it.
him a cheat or a liar, though. That's where Jimbo Fisher went personal, and Nick Saban did not go personal on him. He just explained that they paid players. He didn't say it was against the law or call him a cheater or a liar or anything.
Here's where it becomes complicated and nuanced. You still can't pay the players. Your boosters and others connected to the program can set up the name, image, and likeness deals that attract the players to come there. The programs technically aren't allowed to be part of that, and that's where Saban blurred the lines by saying Texas A&M bought their players. That implies they affirmatively went out and found a way to gather the cash necessary to pay for the player to come join the program. He said what he said. It was very broad, and then he got specific with Texas A&M and also got Jackson State and Deion Sanders involved in some of the things that were said. So that reaction by Fisher really was over the top. And, I mean, he threw some haymakers at Saban and raised some questions. Go see how God did his deal. I love that saying. And you know, implying, maybe even more than implying, just flat out claiming that there was cheating throughout Nick Saban's career when there was parity of resources and everything was equal, that God was doing his deal in a different way that was allowing him to get all these great players. And, of course, as I said at the time, well, Jimbo Fisher would know. He coached with him. Why do we need to go to talk to anybody else, Jimbo? Just keep talking. Tell us what you know. Nobody needs to go dig anything up. You apparently know. Why are you holding it back? That's one thing that disappointed me a couple of weeks ago, because he apparently does know if there is something to say. Yesterday, Nick Saban had something to say at the SEC meetings as he was pressed a little bit. It was kind of unusual to see Nick Saban backpedal. Let's have a look and a listen at what he had to say yesterday on the topic of Jimbo Fisher and Texas A&M buying players.
What evidence did you have that Texas A&M bought its entire recruiting class?
You know, I didn't really say that anybody did anything wrong.
You said they bought their recruiting class.
I didn't say anybody did anything wrong, okay? And I've said everything I'm going to say about this. But, you know, I think that, you know, I guess the point, and I should have never mentioned any individual institutions. I said that before.
Is Jimbo lying when he says that they didn't do anything?
I have no problem with Jimbo. I have no problem with Jimbo at all.
Hey, the body language is great. The body language is great. He says, I have no problem with Jimbo at all, and he digs his fingers into his armpits like the old character from SNL. Remember what was her name? I can't remember the name of the actress, and I can't remember the name of the character. Something Mary Catherine, who's Molly Shannon, playing that superstar character. She would get nervous and do that and then smell her fingertips.
I don't remember that.
Mary Catherine Gallagher. That's Nick Saban doing his unintentional Mary Catherine Gallagher superstar imitation. So, I love having the video to go along with the audio, who clearly has a problem with Jimbo Fisher. I mean, Jimbo Fisher called the guy a chronic and pathological cheater.
Yeah, he went personal on him. That's where I don't
How
agree
do you
with Jimbo
not have
Fisher
a
there.
problem with
Yeah.
Jimbo Fisher?
Right.
How do you take the high road on that unless you're concerned that if we are going to roll around here in the mud, we are both going to end up being pretty damn dirty?
Well, I'm sure everybody's got a little bit of mud in college football. How could they not? It's an environment that's got, it cries for that. If you don't get a little mud on you, you can't win in college football. I mean, it seems that way. Again, but, I think Nick Saban, to where I, again, will be on his side, is I just don't feel like he was trying to bring up a broader point of college football. And I don't think he was trying to accuse them as cheating. I don't think he was. He probably should have been a little bit more forthcoming or transparent there. I think he was just trying to say, listen, through the NIL deals, they've gotten and paid all their players. And he was trying to raise an issue about that. But I don't know. To me, yes, I think Jimbo Fisher kind of crossed the line where, Nick Saban never said Jimbo Fisher's name, never made a personal attack, and Jimbo Fisher went scorched earth. And I don't know. I come away still being on Team Saban, let alone Saban's been at Alabama forever. And like we talked about with, Tony Busby earlier and all that, like it's been there, it's been LSU, and we've had very little to nothing over the years about shady stuff that's gone on, with Nick Saban programs. And I think there's probably more out there about Jimbo Fisher and those programs and maybe some of the things he did at Florida State, where we can look back and go, I think there's more there than any time at Nick Saban and stuff. So that's where I won't agree with Jimbo Fisher totally on this one.
It really is amazing that it blew up the way it did, and it's not going to go away anytime soon, and Saban is going to be dealing with this forever. Let me just, and Fisher too, it binds them together for as long as they're still coaching. It is getting a little ridiculous, so I'm not going to identify the person who tweeted this yesterday. We were passing this around among the PFT writers, as the case may be, just one letter off. Nick Saban just crossed paths with Jimbo Fisher in the Hilton lobby here at the SEC meetings. Nick was walking by. Jimbo was in the cafe on the phone and never saw him as his back was to him. Okay. Breaking news, Jimbo Fisher does not have eyes growing out of the back of his head. But that's kind of where we are because everybody's watching now. Jimbo and Nick, what's going to happen next? Ooh, they crossed paths. No, they didn't because Jimbo didn't see him. But that's the kind of granular, specific coverage that this fight is going to elicit because it is so damn compelling. Whatever happens next, I don't care. I just want something to happen next.
Hi, I'm Mike Tirico, and thanks for watching. Make sure to hit subscribe for the latest news and highlights from NBC Sports.